All right, here we are. We're going to do the post-race wrap-up review here, the FXR Moto. Thanks to FXR for getting behind this stuff here. Billy Rainford, Greg Poisson. We're sitting here on the tailgate. The day is over. Round, what are we at here?
5. Round
5 here at Gopher Dunes. Perfect day. Weather was ideal. I mean, it was sunny all day. Yesterday was great. Wasn't all that humid. 27 degrees Celsius. I mean, I don't think you'd ask for much more.
No, I was still sweating, so it was hot enough, but for sure, definitely picture perfect weekend for a day at the beach.
All right, well, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, so I'm going to speak quite quickly. Let's get to it here right now. First thing we got here, riders' meetings from here on out are going back to mandatory attendance. Not just over the PA anymore. You do have to go down and listen to Paul Kingsley and what Murphy there have to say. So
they're going to do roll call.
Going to be, I don't know if there's a roll call, surprise roll call, who knows, but yes, it is in person now from now on. So, okay, 250 class, qualifying, boy, man. Josiah Natsky last week took the win, 1-1. This week, he was 2 or 3 seconds fastest in qualifying.
Yeah, there was some talk that, you know, it was a bad lap, like he cut the track or something. No, the guy's just that fast. You know, we'll talk about that in the motos, but I totally believe it after watching him in the motos for sure.
Right. Okay, so let's kind of breeze through the what happened in the class there. So we didn't have, I don't know if, I think everybody got in actually. If you ran it, you got in. Yeah. Numbers weren't huge. They did split them up into A and B qualifying, practice kind of stuff. So that was nice. So there was some room out there for everybody. But start out here, Julian Bennett. Julian Bennett wanted to race today. He went out there and tried, crashed in qualifying, kind of hit his leg pretty hard, was over it.
Yeah, Julian. I mean, he's just had like nothing but bad luck all year. It just seems like crashes, and he's just breaking things, or you know, he's not healing. I mean, he just crashed, you know, a couple weeks ago. So I mean, it's not to be, you know, not to he's rushing it. I think at this point, especially at the track like Gopher Dunes.
But you know, he's not going to get any sympathy from his dad, Oliver Bennett. Oliver is old school. You know, he's kind of funny to talk to about stuff like that. But all right, so he does think he's going to be racing next week. He wants to take a few days off, just kind of recoup, get everything back in shape, and show up at Sand Del ready to race and ready to do well like he should be doing. Peyton Morningstar came up. He's been down at MTF training. He got the fill-in ride at the Thor Kawasaki Pro Circuit team in place of Dylan Rempel, who was off, bumped his head, so he's sitting out a little bit. Big kid, 292 out there at the intermediate plates. Didn't go the way he wanted it to today, though, unfortunately. No,
and you know, he's a tall kid.
Drink of water.
Yeah, tall. He's thick too, right? He's not super skinny, so riding a 250F is tough at a track like this. Like he looks like he'd be more suited for a 450.
Absolutely.
He's got yeah. So you know, it didn't really seem to go the way he wanted. Obviously, maybe more time on the bike. I don't know. He has been riding Cowies, but we'll just have to wait and see how it goes going forward.
Yeah, I mean, he got the call, and he unfortunately his mechanic came straight up and said it. The mechanic messed up. I think it was the oil cap or something, wasn't he? Didn't tighten it up. Problems in that second one. Unfortunately, the bike wouldn't go. So that was a drag. Not what he was hoping for. He thinks he's going to be around for Sand Del. Hopefully, he's getting ready for Loretta Lynn, so he's racing in the B class. So good luck to him. Hopefully, we see him back again next week. Moving up I'm just going to kind of jump at some things here. Danny Perry, he got away from me again. The family here from Alaska, man, number 316 out there. I meant to talk to them. I just circled here. I don't know if they're on their way back to Alaska right now, or if they're on their way to Ottawa. Ottawa would be cool, but I don't think they are.
No, I think they're avoiding you on purpose.
They might be.
They've been.
I might have scared them last week.
Yeah. Who's this guy trying to get interviews with us? But yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's going back. I haven't heard, but you know, it'd be great to have another American here to race the Sand Del National. Yeah,
we are starting to see a few more. I mean, some people are definitely getting across the border a little more easily. We're also seeing a lot of the kids from BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan here following the series. So that's really cool to see. We're seeing a lot of people from across Canada. That's good. Jumping up here, next thing I want to talk about, Sam Gaynor rode the FXR Premix, and then he also rode that 150. It's a 125 modded up to the 150, the gas. He finished 13-16 on a 150 out there, two-stroke for 12th overall.
Yeah, Sam actually did quite well for being very underpowered. I saw him at one point in the first moto battling with his teammate Tyler Gibbs. So, I mean, he rode really, really well. I really thought they'd be struggling a lot more on that bike, but I mean, maybe it's lighter, it stays up on the top a little bit more. I don't know, but he did really, really well. So.
Yeah, his hand hurts, wrist hurts, and he's on a small two-stroke. So good for him on that track. That was pretty impressive. Not a whole lot to say. Jeremy Mackay, I spoke to him very briefly. Wasn't happy at all. He was actually quite upset. Almost seemed like he was throwing his arms up, not sure what he's going to do next. But hopefully he can regroup. We're heading to some tracks I know he knows very well. Obviously Deschambault he knows very well. Sandali coming up, so hopefully he can turn it around, do better. Wyatt Kerr, man, he looked great. He was up there in the mix with the top guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's put a lot of time in here at this track, and yeah, he really was riding quite well. I saw him go off the track actually once, just before the big table out front, and he just kept it pinned and still launched on a pretty serious angle. So he was full race mode, and yeah, did really, really well. Yeah,
7.9 for 9th overall. Waiting for that breakout race. I kind of thought maybe he was on it today. He was very close. We'll kind of watch for that next week, because he is right there, just a tiny step off the guys ahead of him.
Yep, on the bubble, as they say.
8.8 for 8th overall, Sebastian Racine. I don't think he finished exactly where he wanted to.
No, quiet day.
Quiet day for him, we'll say.
Yeah, we'll chalk it up to that.
How about Cole Thompson? Went out in practice on a 125 two-stroke.
Yeah.
Then went out for qualifying.
Qualifying on the
250F. So he gave up on the 125 project. Went out, had some troubles. I know he had to come from last place in that first one. Got up to, where did he get up to? He got up to like 9th place. He went 9.6 for 7th overall. He was in some good battles out there, but he disappeared, I thought, for a little bit in the first one too.
Yeah, I didn't really see. I guess he hit the gate in the first moto. Had to come from dead last. The mechanics were already going across the mechanics road by the time he actually came by, so they had to stop everyone from crossing because he was still coming. So second moto, he was in a pretty heated battle with Marco Canella for a little bit.
Yeah, that's right, for sure.
Good buddies, so that was some good racing to see, and I think Marco got the best of him at the end. But yeah, I think that's it for Cole now. I'd like to see him at Sandali or do a couple more, but he says he's not. So.
All right, how about this guy, Quinn Ameon, man, just off the podium there, so close again. He got the bike gremlins done, and now he's showing up and finishing where he should be. He had that trouble. He went down, I think, in that second moto. He was up there battling again,
yeah.
But he went 4.7, ended up 6th overall. So Quinn looking really good up there.
Yeah, first moto battle, the entire moto with Marco Canella again. So Marco seemed to be battling with everybody today. Second moto, he did go down. He's missing his front number plate, so something happened there in a crash. And
yeah, he was way last, and he had to come through the pack. He hit a guy as he was coming through, crashed, he said. So.
Okay.
Yeah, but he looked great though, right?
Yeah, no, he looked really good. He's been riding the Raglan Sandpit enough, and it really paid off here.
All right, top 5, we got Mitchell Harrison, came in with the red plate, leaves with the red plate, didn't win, ended up going 6.4. He found the sand a couple times.
Yeah.
I found the last lap in that second one, bit of a drag. I mean,
yeah, because he was second, I think, in that second.
Yeah, that battle.
Yeah.
Him, McNabb, and Piccolo just going at it for sure.
Yeah, so that's the points battle. I mean, for the points lead, right? Because I don't think Natsuki's going to be able to catch up after missing the first 3. So that's the battle we need to be looking for.
Under their pit, they're saying they're shooting for 3rd place, so he thinks maybe they can claw their way up to 3rd. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Who knows what can happen? You never know what can happen, but he is definitely doing well. But guy we just mentioned, 4th place, Marco Canella, 3rd in the first one, 5th in the second one.
Yeah, I mean, what's there to say about Marco? That he's very frustrated with himself. He wants to do better. He wants to be winning. He's capable of winning motos. He has in the past. I just don't know what piece of the puzzle is missing at this point to pull this off. So we'll have to wait and see.
All right. Hey, look, here comes Tanner Ward. He's going to walk right through. He's going to do it.
I was going to do it by surprise.
Oh,
we saw you coming.
All right, now top 3 here. 3rd, Jake Piccolo. He fell in the first one, 5.3 for 3rd overall. I mean, in it obviously all day. Fell down, went back in that battle in the second one, like we were talking about.
Yeah, Jake just seemed to be just off the pace today. I mean, it was a really rough track. He's fit, you know, from everything we see and know. Just, you know, had a couple. I think it was a couple of close moments, anyways, that I saw. Just a little bit off the pace, and he's going to have to really step it up because, you know, he's going to be getting further back in the points as things go forward. So we've only got a few rounds left.
Right, 2nd place at his home track, Ryder Mcnabb, 2.2 for 2nd overall. Late in the motos, he was closing in on Josiah Natsky. He was closing in. I actually talked about Josiah about that, like if he was taking it easy, and he said, no, I was actually starting to, you know, I was feeling it. I wasn't not trying. So, yeah, Ryder was coming on strong at the end. He had that great battle in the second one, 2.2.
Yeah, I mean, I really expected Ryder to win. I didn't know if Josiah was going to be that fast here, and he was. He was pretty much untouchable. I mean, yes, he did. They were gaining on him a bit by the end, but for the most part, he built up a pretty good gap.
Right.
So we'll talk about that in a second. But Ryder's, you know, starting to feel better, I think, and he's starting.
The retro gear and retro bike.
Yeah, those bikes were absolutely
1999.
So really cool, and I mean, that was just I think Ryder's going to be okay with that, and he'll just have to find that next little bit to get up to Natsuki.
Right, for sure. Yeah, speaking of Natsuki here, yeah, 1-1, like we said, like 3 seconds faster in qualifying, just killing it. It's kind of cool to have a guy here who, when you talk about sand experience, he says Lommel, there's a track in Germany, so it's kind of cool with a guy that that kind of international experience.
Yeah, and he says it's this track rates up there with some of the roughest. So
we're just talking about that guy. Sorry, we like it when things go sideways.
Yeah. Yeah, and he said it was quite rough. It was one of the roughest he's ridden. I mean, he was on another level. You know, if you watch him ride or hear him ride, he was right in the meat of the power band, never really revving out like a typical 250 rider does. The guy was just riding all these outside lines too, and just keeping up a ton of speed.
Right.
I mean, he was the class of the field today, and you know, these guys are gonna have to do something different to step up, because I mean, he's won 4 of the 5 motos he's done so far.
And it was funny, kind of, when he said that. He thought he might have underestimated the place. It was pretty funny. But then, like you say, he did mention he went out, he put in some sprint laps, got a lead, checked over his shoulder, and did what he could to just kind of manage that gap and took the win. So Julian Bennett, team owner, Partzilla PRMX team, super happy. He's doling out the hot dogs and hamburgers over there. I think they're still over there giving out burgers and stuff. So we'll have to hurry up here and go grab, see what we got left over there.
Julian's just, it's good for the PRMX team, and you know, they've had a lot of effort put in over the years, and a lot of bad luck and things like that. So it's good to see that kind of come full circle. And they, you know, now Julian's team's a moto winner, an overall winner.
Yep,
so
2 in a row now, man. It's pretty cool. But now we're going to move over to the 450s.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that team didn't have the greatest of luck with Felix Lopez today. No. But let's start off here. How about Bennett Amiot made the bet? Quinn Ameon got on the podium, so he had to race Gopher Dunes. But come on.
Yeah, so Benny built the bike Friday, I believe. I was told just before they left. There's a 2015 or 16, maybe even 17. It's a RMZ 450. You know, Benny's known to go pretty fast in the sand. I mean, I fully expect him to be able to qualify, even if there was qualifiers. But obviously, he hasn't been riding or doing like that. So, but he followed through on the bet. But he has no MCL or ACL on his one knee. So I guess he dabbed it pretty hard and hurt himself a little bit. So did not line up.
I called him a welcher. I don't think he did. I don't think he fulfilled his duties for that bet. He said he had to race. Everybody qualified.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, we're going to make him race another one, so I think. All right, let's kind of move up here and talk about a couple things. I gave Brendon Mckee our 450 Rhino Power Award. Man, he was up there battling in the top 10. You know, never raced these races over here. Well, he's raced Gopher Dunes, but looked great out there. Ended up he was 9th. He was just staying ahead of like Western Rosina, Ryan Derry, but then he fell on that second one, dropped back. So unfortunately, he ended up 14th. But I just want to throw that out there because I thought he had a great race.
Yeah, it was surprising. I thought, you know, when he qualified ahead of some pretty fast guys, I thought maybe, like I said, there's a transponder issue or something, because he's never really been up there. You know, especially in the 450 class. And he showed up and he did really well. He was battling inside the top 10 the whole time.
Yeah, lots of experience on the sand track, the back track, like you mentioned in our interview at Club MX. So Club MX coming through again, helping guys out race in the sand. Ahead of him, we just mentioned Felix Lopez, the 450 rider for that PRMX team. 5th, super solid in the first one. Second one, I guess in the first one he felt the clutch was going. Joe Kremko, they kind of took a look at it, the mechanic, and there was some stuff, so they fixed it, but went out. The damage was already done. He said the head wasn't getting any oil and stuff like that. There was trouble. Engine let go in the second one when he was up there doing well. So too bad for him. That's a tough break. Still ended up 13th overall. Yeah, moving up here. We just mentioned Western Rosina and Ryan Derry. Man, they couldn't get away from each other.
No, that was they qualified right next to each other, and then battled both motos. They were pretty much tied together, going back and forth. It was Weston's injured, Ryan, you know, coming up from the injuries himself and just kind of getting up there. I think Ryan's kind of, that's where he kind of should be, is 10th, 10 to 12 right now. And Weston obviously finishes up a little bit more, but still dealing with that separated shoulder and some sore ribs.
He's all wrapped. Yeah, we should mention that. He's all wrapped up. He's got some cracked ribs, maybe, whatever, and his shoulder. Sure. So he's fully wrapped. And if you've ever had cracked or broken ribs, you know how tough that is. So kudos for him to getting out there. He finished 9th. Ryan Derry was 10th. Ahead of him, I did an interview with Yannick Boucher. Man, he said in the one mode he had 20 seconds ahead of him, 35 behind him. So he was alone. He went 9-8 for 8th overall. So he had a great day. He was happy with it. But again, he was alone out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that seem to be just by themselves and circulating is we call it. Dylan Wright said that a lot of guys even were circulating because it was just so rough. So sorry, not Dylan, Courtland said that, but it was definitely it seemed to be the case because there's a lot of guys who were just by themselves.
All right, now I was impressed with Daniel Elmore coming back after that shoulder injury. Good for him. He's all the way from Telkwa, BC. He went 6-7 for 7th overall. He also was alone. He was up there in the mix with the really top riders early. Ended up, like I say, on his own 6-7 for 7th. Good for him. Liam O'Farrell, we just talked to him. I mean, late motos, I mean, he's not on the bike enough these days, not able to get on it, but man, he still showed everybody he's got it still.
Well, as I said, Liam used to be a dark horse, and now he's a for sure. You know, he's proven that he's going to be fit. He's fast here at these Ontario tracks. He just races now. He doesn't really ride during the week. He just trains and is a full-time dad, full-time HVAC, I believe it is. So, you know, he's super busy, but he's still out there just getting it done.
Yeah, okay, and cracking the top 5, Chris Blackmer, little guy, was he 135 pounds or something like that, up on the big 450 over there at Steve Sims' team. Hole shots, him and Tyler Medallia just battling for hole shots.
Yeah,
the two little guys.
Two little guys,
Two little guys on big bikes.
Don't say the D-Dag's face, but yeah, two little guys.
Oh yeah, so he went 8-5. He's from Michigan, so good for him. Ended up 5th overall. Good rides from Tanner Ward. He's really showing he belongs up at the pointy end of this group for sure, man. 4-4 for 4th overall for Tanner. We just saw him walk through the camera.
Yeah. Tanner seemed to be a bit of a bike issue that second moto at the beginning. It was making some noise and cutting out a little bit. It seemed to fix itself. I don't know how. But yeah, it seems he's really shown himself to be a contender in the 450 class.
Yeah, he did end up kind of on his own in that second one there. I mean, just kind of, he could tell how far ahead, how far back. He didn't have any pressure, so made it through there. And Sean Moffenbauer, he went 3-3 for 3rd, matching his number, so good for him. We just had a chat with him as well. Pretty happy with it. He said the track kind of developed differently. He said it was like kind of square edge and a little bit drier, kind of a little different.
Yeah, so touching on that, so there was some feedback from yesterday that the track was fairly dry and it seemed to get baked, which is odd for a sand track to get baked, but I guess it you know, changes things, and it was a little bit more square edge today as opposed to that kind of roller style that we get here a fair bit. So I think it was from yesterday's amateur day.
Okay, yeah, for sure. All right, and then second place, again, like every week here, 2-2 for 2nd overall. Tyler Medallia got the starts, held off Dylan Wright for quite a few laps, and then Dylan made that comment about using the old man lines and stuff like that. So the wily veteran, Tyler. Yeah,
T-Dags is always just gonna, you know, say he's gonna T-Dags. He's just gonna do what he's gonna do, and he's super fast, fit. He had some interesting lines, as Dylan mentioned. You know, for example, there was a double that was turning it. He turned into a step on, step off, where he jumped into the corner. I think you have video of that.
I do,
it was pretty cool. He said it wasn't faster. He was actually faster going inside, but he said it was cool anyway. So I said, all right, that works.
Inside
for me,
with the feet off. Remember the first time he tried that through traffic?
Yeah, and just absolutely wicked. So yeah, Tyler's he's a solid second place guy, and Moff and him had a good battle. Actually, first moto, Moff was in second for a while, and Tyler kind of fell back, and then Tyler caught him back up and pulled him back in.
That's right. And Tyler, while Dave Bell's playlist was playing who knows what, some country song, Tyler in the pits over there at the Cobb Mountain Sports pits, cranking the SNFU. That's right, I approved. All right, and first overall...
Transformer 2 soundtrack, pretty much.
Dylan Wright, 1-1. I mean, I think there was a guy, I can't remember who said it, but I mean, he went down, he had to come back. Someone described him as being like his cat catches a mouse, just kind of playing. He just is on another level right now.
Yeah, I said in the interview I did with him, and I've said it, you know, to multiple people. It's just I don't know how he got that much faster from last year, and he just is. He's on a completely different planet. You know, he goes down, catches up. He's passing 2-3 guys a lap if he needs to. He's just yeah. I don't know how to say it other than he's on another level, and he just can't seem to do anything wrong. Watching him here, yes, it is a home team track for them. He does ride here a lot, but you know, guys are struggling to get around, and Dylan just seems to be just playing around. He's like doing jumps, and
it must be nice at that level to be that fast above people.
I wouldn't know, so it's I wouldn't know how to be that good at anything, to be honest with you. So it's pretty cool to see him just be so comfortable from the gate drop, and he knows he's gonna win or can be up there, and his confidence is next level.
That part really helps. And he's also, it's funny because he's got like 3 home tracks. So this is a home track because it's a home team. Yep. We're going to Ottawa. He's from Ottawa, but now he lives in Quebec, so Deschambault is kind of like a home track.
Yeah,
so
Deschambault's not too far from him.
Yeah.
So he's ridden there before, you know, away from the national. But yeah, so he's got 3 home tracks. I think Sand Lee is more his home track.
For sure.
Home track.
He'd literally ride his bike over there when he was a kid.
Yeah. So you know, but I fully expect him to. I mean, it's hard to bet against the guy.
Hey, we're invited for burgers at his house too, at his parents' house.
Oh, okay.
Next week.
We'll see you there.
And I also thought one last thing too I want to mention on that. It was kind of funny. While Dylan was up on stage saying he wanted to prove that this is his sandbox, and Tyler was kind of laughing because Tyler's won here twice, 10 years apart. He won the 250 in what, 10 and whatever, and then 20 kind of thing on the 450. And then Tyler got up and said all he wants to do is break this streak, because all we're talking about is the perfect season for Dylan. So they're good buddies and stuff like that. So it's kind of funny hearing them having a little battle with that. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, both grew up at Sand Del, right? So maybe next weekend. I mean, how cool would that be if Tyler wins a moto at Sand Del? You know, he's still got lots of friends and family there. You know, it could happen at any point, but I mean, Dylan's just killing it right now.
Yep, so there you go. There's a quick wrap up of how we saw things happen today here at Gopher Dunes around 5. We're heading to Sand Del up in Ottawa, so everybody have a great week. Thank you very much to FXR Moto, and yeah, we'll see you in our nation's capital.
We'll see you there.